So we are done with a lot of things. We were working with Selenium and we learned that how Selenium works on page source and say how we can analyze the pages, right? We tried retrieving the elements with their ID, name and class attributes, right? Now we would be learning something that is XPath. So the first question that would come into your mind after hearing this would be, say, what is XPath, right? Now XPath is something, you can say that it is the address of a element on a page, right? Now what kind of address, right? Now for example, we live somewhere, right? We have an address, right? If someone wants to send us something, for example, if we order something online, right? We get our things delivered to our doorstep. So what we provide is, we provide our address which tells us that where we are located, right? Which tells everyone that where we are located. Now in the same way, there are elements on the page. For example, if we go to the rediff.com again, right? And here in rediff.com, the first thing I'll be doing is I'll be going to the sign in page. Now on this page here, you can see that there are some elements, right? And if we see the, say, source code, right, the page source, we would notice that there are some elements, right? We saw these elements earlier as well, right? But now what we are going to do with this, right? Now for example, we have this username field, right? This is a text box that we retrieved earlier with its attribute, right? And the attribute was ID login1, right? Now this is the element, right? Now this element has some address on this particular page, right? This means that this element resides somewhere, right? For example, consider that body is a country, right? Then say div is a zone, right? This div is a state, then this div is again zone in a state, right? And so on. And in the ending, this is your house number, right? So house number, or you can say that the door number. Now this way you can tell that where you are exactly located, right? Now in the same way, elements have their addresses on say web pages, right? And we denote those addresses in the form of XPath, right? Now how a XPath is generated? Now here this element is a child of this div tag. This div tag is a child of this div tag, right? And in the same way, it is a child of this one is a child of this one, and this one is a child of this one, and this one is a child of this one, and so on, right? So we get to the root of the element from where it is coming, right? So this is a tree that you need to know that how the things are coming up and what is the exact path that you need to follow, right? Now XPaths not only work for HTML, they also work for the XML. Originally these were made for XML only, and now we can work with HTML files as well, right? Now over here, how we can generate a XPath for this particular element? Or let us just do one thing. Let us just try using some other element that we were not able to work with earlier. For example, what if I would want to retrieve this element, that is this rediff.com, right? We can right click here, go to inspect, and we can see that this is the element, right? Now here this element is inside body tag. This body tag is inside HTML tag, right? Inside body tag we have multiple tags, but the tag that we need is div tag. Inside this div, again div tag. Inside this div, again div tag, and so on, right? Now how we can denote its address? Let us just see that. So what I'll do is I'll open Notepad, right? And let's just set the text to the maximum size. And here I'll start typing the XPath, right? So here we'll generate a XPath. Now how we can go with, see, the first thing is the root tag is HTML, right? Inside HTML, what we have to do is we need to get to the body tag, right? See, our motive is to reach this particular point, right? But to reach this point, we need to go step by step. So the first step is done, right? Next thing is we need to get to the say body tag. So we will specify body and body, right? Now over here inside body tag we have to get inside the div tag, right? So /div. Now inside this div tag we need to get inside the div tag once again and then once again, right? So /div, right? And we are done getting inside two div tags, right? Then in the ending we just need to have access to the anchor tag, right? This is the XPath that we have generated, right? Now let us just try this XPath. Control F. See, this looking up for XPath only and only works in Google Chrome directly. We'll be learning about other browsers as well, right? But right now if you notice something is not right, right? So what mistake I have made? Let us just see that. Again, we are not getting the correct element, right? Actually we are not getting any element. So HTML, then body, right? Then div1, div2, div3, div4. Notice something? There were 4 div tags needed and I just used 3, right? So done. Now the moment we are done with it, as you guys can see that immediately an anchor tag got highlighted, right? An element got highlighted that we can actually use, right? So over here, just a second guys, anyone having any queries? Okay, Nidhi, head is not needed. See, the element is not inside head. The element that we need is inside body, right? In HTML, we have 2 tags, head and body. The element that we need is inside body tag. So we won't be using head tag here, right? Make sure that you just use this tag that you need, right? We need not to specify any other tag here. For example, if I want access to this anchor tag, I need not to specify the div tag, right? So over here, these things are done. Now the next thing is, say, accessing this element, right? So what I'll do is I'll just copy this XPath. I've copied it. Now what we have to do here, I'll just create a new project quickly, Java project, and it is day 5. Right? We need the Selenium jars to be added. So let us just add them. And here libraries, add external jars, choose both of these jars, add external jars, choose all these jars, right? Click on finish and you're done. You don't need the older project to be open. You can simply close it, right? So we will be closing unrelated projects. Right click, new class, and as we are working with the XPath and on the Rediff page, so Rediff, right? So over here, first thing first, what we need the main method, right? Inside the main method, what do we need, right? First thing first, we need the WebDriver to be initialized. WebDriver driver equals to new Chrome driver, right? Chrome works faster for me, so I'm using Google Chrome. In case any other browser which works faster for you, you can prefer that browser, right? Now over here, the first thing is done. Next thing is, say, getting the page. So driver dot get which page will provide the URL later on. After opening that page, we need to find the element. So how we can do that? Driver, right, dot find element by XPath, right? And what is the XPath? So the XPath expression is this, right? Now let me just store this inside something. So say web element, say homepage link, right, equals to driver.find element, and this, right? Now this is done. We can try clicking on it. So homepage link dot click, and we are done. Now let us just go back and use this URL, because in case if we don't provide it, we won't be able to work with it. Control F11, and as you guys can see that the code is executing. It will take a little bit time, but once done, we would be able to see that it has clicked on the home page. Right now we are taken to the, say, login page, and once done clicking, we will be taken to the, say, home page, and this has been done here, right? This is what we were expecting, and this is what has been done here as well, right? So what it did, it actually retrieved the element, okay, and it simply worked with it, right? Now over here, what kind of XPath did we use? Now this type of XPath is called as complete XPath, right? Or you can say that absolute XPath. So absolute XPath, right? Or complete XPath. Now this means that there is another kind of XPath as well, right? So what is the another kind of XPath? Now the another kind of XPath is partial XPath, right? Now partial XPath, how it looks like. So over here in complete XPath, we know that we are getting to the element step by step, right? Root, then its child that we need, then its child which we need, then its child which we need, and so on, getting to the end point, right? Now in partial XPath, we don't go like this. For example, I would like to have access to the element that is this username field, right? Now if I try go and say if I try to generate XPath for this, it will be a very long XPath, right? If I want to have a XPath pre-generated, yes, I can have that as well. So right click, copy. Now Google Chrome by default provides you pre-generated XPaths. So you have the option of copying full XPath, right? And you can paste it here. Now this is the XPath they have generated, and it is very long, right? Now let us just ignore it for a while. Now what will happen is, if I right click here, go to copy, and if I choose the option copy XPath only, if I paste it here, you guys would notice something. This is the XPath that has generated, right? What is this XPath? Let us just see that here, right? So this is the XPath that it has generated for us, right? Now what it is trying to do, now we would be splitting up this XPath in multiple parts, right? So just a second, yeah. So what are these parts? Let us just see that. Now over here, see, the first thing is this, right? Double forward slash, then there is this star, right? Then there is this @. What does it mean? And what does this ID mean and what does this value mean? Let us just see that. So first thing first, this double forward slash, this tells us that any root, right, or more specific, anywhere in the tree, right? First thing done. Now this star, this specifies that any tag, right? So any tag name. Now what does this @ specify? @ specifies the attribute, right? Now the question is what kind of attribute? So the attribute name, right? So right, so we have got the attribute name. Now what it needs to match, right? So that is this value, that is say value to match, right? This is done. Now over here, will this XPath work for us? Yes, it will work. Let us just see that. So instead of clicking here, instead of retrieving this element and clicking on it, I'll just comment it out this particular part. We'll retrieve the web element, right? And this time say username equals to driver dot find element by XPath, right? And what is the XPath? The XPath that we copied, right? Now you guys may have noticed something, it added something automatically, right? So whenever we generate a XPath from Google Chrome, it generates something that cannot be used directly. There are double quotes. Simply replace them with a single quote so that you don't face any kind of issues in the future, right? So over here, this is done. I'll just replace the XPath that we have, right? And this is the same XPath. If in case if you are worried that this XPath won't work, simply go back to the page in the developer tools and paste that XPath and check that whether the element is getting retrieved or not, right? As you guys can see that the element is in yellow and there is only one element. This means that the XPath is working absolutely fine for us. Now what we would be doing is we would be trying to work with it, right? So here we have retrieved the element. I would like to send them some data. So username dot send keys, what data I would like to send? Again my name, right? So over here, this is done. Now let us just try running this code. Control F11, right? Now I'm not sure whether this part of code would work or not, right? So the only way to see that whether it is working or not is to execute the code, right? And as you guys can see that on your screen, the XPath is working fine and the element has been retrieved and we have typed my name as well. This is about Google Chrome, right? What if I don't want to use Google Chrome? I would like to use Firefox browser. Will this XPath work? Let us just see that. So Control F11, the browser will take a little bit time and then we will be able to see whether it is working fine or not. Right? So over here, this is working absolutely fine. This means that the XPath is not browser dependent, right? So over here, this part is done. Now we can simply close in this particular browser window. Now over here, we are done retrieving an element. Let us just try retrieving another element. That is this password field. Right click, inspect. Now let us just try generating the XPath for this particular element. What all things do you need? First of all, let us just generate something. that is say a normal XPath, right? And this is the XPath that we have got. This will work for us, right? But I won't be using this particular XPath. Let us just try generating a full XPath. Okay, so now notice this thing. I'm going in a reverse way, right? This method helps us in generating a better XPath. We need the input method, input tag, right? So input, right? Then input tag is inside div tag. We are done reaching here, right? And just a second. Okay, so div slash input, we have reached here at this particular point. Now this div tag has a parallel tag, but we need to have access to this div tag, right? So this is inside div, right? Let us just go one step for say reverse again. So we have got to this div tag. Now this div tag, right? There are a lot of other things. First of all, collapse everything that you don't need. Now this div tag is inside some div tag, right? Which one? If you notice something, this one, right? So again div. So we are done with this particular part. We have got to this particular point now. Now over here, this one is inside this particular div. So again div, right? So over here we have got to this particular point. Now this one is inside form tag, right? So form tag, right? Now we have got till the point where a form tag is. Then form tag is inside div tag. So div tag. Now over here, this div tag has some say another div tag. So over here, this div tag is inside this particular div tag, which has the class say top bar, right? So we have got till this particular point, that is top bar. Then this one is inside this div is inside this div. So there are two divs, right? So we have reached to this particular div. Now this one is inside body and body is inside HTML. So HTML body, right? I'll simply copy this XPath and I'll paste it here. As you guys can see that we have got the element, but there are three other matching elements as well, right? So someone has a query. Nidhi, I could not understand your query. So over here we have got this particular XPath which will work for us, because over here we have got the element, but there is a problem. The problem is it is pointing at three different locations. Okay, so over here now what we need to do is that we simply need to have access to this particular element. Now let us just get more specific here. How? Now over here this input tag is inside div tag, that is okay, but this div tag is the second div tag. So specify to here, right? Now over here this div tag is retrieved, but this div tag is inside the first div tag, so we need not to specify. This div tag is the second div tag again. So this div tag is the second div tag again, right? Let us just try getting this XPath, and here I made a mistake. I copied the whole thing. Now you guys notice something. Again we are getting three elements. We just need to see one of one. Okay, So we have got to this particular point, right? This one is the second one. Then in the form, inside form, there is only one div tag, so we don't have to worry. But before form, the div tag is the second one, right? So this one is the second one, right? So over here, this part is done, right? So I'll just paste this XPath here again, and this XPath is not working fine for us. Maybe I have made a mistake somewhere. Let us just see that, right? Okay, I specified 2 with form. This was not supposed to be specified. Okay, anyways, we have this XPath, right? The input is with the second div tag, and this div tag is the first div tag here, right? But is there any other div tag? Actually, if you notice something, there are 2 parallel div tags under the form tag, right? So we need to have access to the first one. So inside the first one, we again got these 3 elements. So what do we need to do to resolve this issue? See, this is the second one, that is okay, right? But there are multiple divs here, right? So where we have not specified anything, actually we need to specify one here. The moment I specify one, we got an XPath that retrieves only one element. So we have got another XPath for an element which was already retrieved, right? So the question is, can an element have multiple XPaths? Actually, yes. A single element can have multiple XPaths. It depends what kind of XPath you prefer to use, right? Now we have 2 different types of XPaths here. The first one is the partial XPath. The second one is the complete XPath. But out of these 2, there is another type as well. That is custom XPath, right? So custom XPath. So what is custom XPath? The XPath that we generate. What is the need of custom XPath? We can try generating XPaths from the browsers directly. The problem is those XPaths work only 20% of the times. Other 80% of the time, the XPaths don't work. And we don't want anything unstable in our project, right? Because when the project is executing, when 1000 test cases are executing, we won't be able to get to know that what was the problem, right? And we don't want any kind of issues while execution, right? So what we prefer is, we prefer generating a custom XPath, right? Now let us just remove this one and remove this thing here as well, right? Now for custom XPath, what do we need to do, right? So there are few things that we need to keep in mind. First thing is, either we can start with the root, or either we can start with any part of root. So // now remember, there was a star. We won't be specifying star. We want more specific information, right? For example, we would want to have access to input tag, right? If I specify this thing only, right, what would happen? Let us just see that. So I just specified // input, and there are 6 elements highlighted. Now this means that a single XPath can have multiple elements located as well, right? Now out of these 6 elements, there is only one element that we need to have access to. We don't want any unnecessary element, right? So the element that we need to have access to is this. So there are some attributes: type equals to text, ID equals to login1, max length equals to 30, name equals to login, right? Value is nothing, tab index equals to 1. So we can decide which attribute we would want to use, right? So out of these, I would like to make use of an attribute that is name, right? So to specify, say, locating information, we need to specify square brackets. Inside square brackets, I would be specifying something @name equals to, now what is the name? Login, right? So login. And as you guys can see that immediately this element got highlighted. So this is the XPath that we have generated just right now, right? Now we have got the XPath for the same element, right? I can work with it, right? So over here, I'll just try specifying this particular XPath, right? And we'll try executing the code. So Control F11 is the shortcut key that would allow us to execute the code. So over here, we are having access to this particular element, and let's see whether it fails or not, right? So the browser has opened, it has typed Abhishek inside. This means that this is working fine. I'll just close this now. So over here, the thing that we wanted is executing well, right? Can we have more XPaths? Actually, yes. So question is how, right? So over here, if we go to the developer tools, what we can do is we can do mix and match as well, right? Question is how. If you notice something, we have something here that is a div tag with the class cell, right? So double / div, then attribute @class equals to cell. But there are a lot of elements. The one that we want is input tag inside it. So there are 3 input tags, right? This won't work for us. Now what we can do is, instead of cell, what if I specify row, right? Inside row, I know that there is a div tag. Which one is the second one, right? So second one, div tag. Okay, so over here this is done, but again there are 3 elements, so this won't work for us as well. I'll just remove something here. I can specify, say, table. So table is specified. Then we need to have access to, say, div tag, which is the first div tag. So div, we can specify the number and we can go. So for the same element, we have generated another XPath, right? Now if you notice something, there are 4 different XPaths for the same element, right? It depends on us which XPath we would like to use. Say, suppose if we notice something that this name is changing time to time, we won't be able to use it, right? We want something that is stable, and we got to know that there was an element, the structure was followed every time, and this element's class doesn't change anytime. So over here, it is faster to use this particular XPath. So we need to decide which XPath would be stable for us, right? Now over here we have the XPath and we are done with that. Now let us just try generating another XPath. Okay, so we would be trying to access this particular password field. Right click, inspect. The shortcut is right click here, then go to copy, then copy XPath. You've got the XPath, you can simply go here and specify the code. Web element, say password field equals to driver dot find element. Then what we need to specify here inside this by class by XPath, right? Now over here the XPath is this that we have copied, right? Notice something, before the double quotes it has specified a simple backslash, so that this double quote should be treated as text only, right? So over here this is done. Now the next thing is, say, working with the password field. So password field dot send keys not is enabled. Why it suggests me all the time? So over here, send keys, what data I would like to send? Say I would like to send some data that is my surname, right? Let us just try running this. Control F11. The code is executing. Let us just see what happens. So over here the browser is opened. It usually takes a little bit time. It depends on machine to machine, right? And over here, as you guys can see that it has filled in my username and the password. Next thing is, we would like to click on sign in, right? So let us just click on sign in as well. Right click here, right? Inspect element. Notice something, I'm inspecting an element on Firefox browser. So over here, this is the element. Right click, go to copy, and we have the option of XPath. I'll just copy the XPath and I'll paste it here directly without looking at it, right? So web element, say submit button equals to driver dot find element by XPath, and say what is the XPath expression. So they have provided us a complete XPath. No worries, we can work with it. Say password say submit button dot click. We need to click here. So let us just try running this code. We'll get to know that if there is a issue, right? So the code is executing. Let us just see that. Okay, so as you guys can see that it has tried to click, and we have got a prompt that wrong username and password combination. So right, the things that we wanted to do are done. We wanted to provide a username, we wanted to provide a password, and we wanted to click on sign in. Everything is working absolutely fine. But what if we provide something wrong, right? Say if I provide something wrong over here. Say here I specify unnecessary ends. What would happen? Control F11. Let us just see what happens here. So the code is executing. It will take a little bit time. In the meantime, what all things we are done with? We are done with what is XPath. Why do we need XPath, right? And we have not installed XPath checker. We will be installing all these things in some time, right? And we are done with creating customized XPaths. Can two elements have same XPath, right? And say other things would be discussed in some time. Okay, so over here the browser is opened. It will take a little bit time, and here the details will be filled in anytime soon. But if you notice something, no detail got filled. If we go back, we would see something. There is a problem. No such element exception. So whenever XPath is not working, you'll get this kind of exception, no such element exception, unable to locate the element, and it will tell you that this is the XPath, right? So this is the XPath that we tried to use. Now first thing is, you can copy this XPath and try on the page, right? Or in case if you would want to get to the root of the issue, you want to know that where was the issue, scroll down, you'll get an option of rediff.main line number 14. Click here, the line will get highlighted, and you got to know that this is the XPath which is not working fine. I'll rectify the issue, control F11, and the code will execute absolutely fine. I'll just close all the unnecessary browser instances that we don't need. Right? So over here, this is executing. It will take a little bit time. And here we are. And you guys can notice now the things are working absolutely fine. Right? So let us just close this. And here we're done with this particular thing. Now in Chrome, you can start working with the XPaths directly. You don't need to have anything installed, right? But in other browsers, you cannot start working with XPath directly. For example, I would say try using Firefox, right? So over here in Firefox, I'll open the same page, the page that we are working on right now, and I don't want to set this as a default browser, right? So this is the page that we would want to go to. On this page, I'll hit F12 key. We will get to this developer tools. If you notice something, I'll hit Control F. It will take me here, but if I specify some XPath, it will not highlight anything, right? Okay, it has started. Wow. So in other older versions, it did not use to. Let us just try something else. Let us just try some other XPath. I'll copy the XPaths from here and say I'll try this particular XPath. Right? So we are getting the XPaths here. This was not working earlier. They have recently added this thing, I feel like. Okay, so we have got this element. The element got highlighted over here as well, right? If you notice something, this is the XPath. I'll hit enter, and you guys can see that it is highlighting this element, that this is the element that I'm trying to locate, right? So over here we can look up for the XPath, but there is an easier way as well. What is that? We can simply add up some extensions. What are those extensions? The first extension is XPath tester, right? But how we can find the extensions, how we can install them, that is pretty easy. Click on these three parallel lines, options button, then go to say add-ons, right? And here go to extensions, right? Then you can look up for the extensions here, right? The XPath, the extension that you need to use is try XPath, or you can simply look up for XPath, right? And hit enter. It will take you to the page where you will get a list of say add-ons that you can use. See, the add-on that you need to use is this try XPath. This allows you to try the XPath on the page directly, and I have already installed it. You can simply click on add to say Firefox here, and this will work for you, right? Now the benefit, going back to this, click here, TX is the button. You have the option of expression, paste the XPath that you would want to use, click on execute. It will highlight the element that you can use, and it will show how many matching elements are here as well, right? In case if you would want to focus on the element, click on here and it will focus the element again, right? As you guys can see that the blue element is the element that you wanted, right? So over here, done. Now let us just try some other XPath. This will work, right? Instead of login, let us just try password, right? Click on execute. There is no XPath, right? Because there is no such field with the name, say password. So what is the thing that we need to use? Let us just see that. The name is password, PASSWD, right? Click on try XPath again, PASSWD, WD. Click on execute and it will highlight the element that you need, right? You can click on focus and it will highlight the element once again, right? So this is what this helps us in generating and testing XPaths easily, right? Now about another extension that I use is CrowPath, right? CrowPath is something that you can install, and it is, I think so, the third or the fourth result. It depends every time. So over here, this is the result, CrowPath. Simply click on it and click on add to Firefox. What this does, this generates some better XPaths for us, right? For example, I would like to have access to this particular element, right? We have this developer tools window open, and just a second, let me just open developer tools, F12 key, right? Click on inspector, go to the element that you would want to inspect, say I'd like to inspect this particular element, right? Now here in developer tools it will highlight this element, right? In the rightmost section you would see something CrowPath, right? Here in CrowPath you guys can see that there is the XPath it has generated. So there is a relative XPath and the absolute XPath. You can use any of the XPaths. Click here, the XPath will be copied. Click here, the another type of XPath will be copied, and you can work with it directly, right? So this way you can retrieve the elements, right? And this works very fast. So we have installed some extension in Firefox. Can we install extensions in Google Chrome? Yes. So over here, let us just see about the Google Chrome browser now. So how we can do that? Simply click on these three triple dots, go to more tools, then go to extensions. In the bottom left corner, okay, they have moved up something, yeah. So in this three parallel lines, click here. In the bottom left corner, they have an option of Open Chrome Web Store. Simply go there and look up for something that is CrowPath. CrowPath was say originally designed for Google Chrome, so it works the best here, right? So CrowPath, right? Simply look up for some look up for this, and here this is the official autonomic CrowPath. Click here and you have the option of add to Chrome here. Right now it is already installed on my system, so I will be getting the option of remove from Chrome, right? So it is already added. How we can use it, right? If I click here, it will just give me the idea how we can use it. Let us just see. So over here on the Rediff mail page, I'll hit F12 key. We will get this developer tools window. Now this element is highlighted here. On the right section, you would notice something. There is also a CrowPath option. Click here. In the CrowPath option, you would notice something. We have the things. We have a relative XPath. It is not showing me the complete XPath, but yes, we have a relative XPath, right? So this is the XPath. Now over here, simply click on copy. The XPath is copied. You can try pasting it here and test it whether it is working fine, and you guys can see that this is working absolutely fine. Now CrowPath generates XPath that can be used in the code directly. We need not to modify that XPath in any way. We can simply copy the XPath from here and use it in the code without worrying. Okay, so this is how we can install the extensions so that we can make use of them. In the next lecture, we will be studying more about these XPath, how different ways we can generate XPaths and how we can use them, right? So this was for today's lecture. If you have any queries, you can feel free to ask.